Do you really think I've fallen seriously in love with you? What? I was not loved by Matt. The realization made my head spin. Matt added insult to injury by yelling at me. I just wanted a wife who would take care of the housework because I'm busy with work every day. And yet, you had to go and get sick and be hospitalized. I want a divorce from a sick old hag. I felt like everything was going dark before my eyes, but then I remembered something I had seen earlier. If I have that, there is nothing to be afraid of. Thinking this, I regained my composure and retorted to Matt. Fine. I have something strong on my side. So, I don't mind letting go of someone like Matt. However, after all he put me through, and then getting back with his ex while I was hospitalized, I decided to give him a piece of my mind. I am Kim, a 45-year-old housewife who recently got married. I had led a simple life of going back and forth between home and work until I was in my mid-40s. My only pleasure was going out for drinks or shopping. And every year, as I hoped for happiness, buying a lottery ticket as a test of my luck became a tradition. One day, I came across a dating app for people in their 40s. I had been to matchmaking parties before but never had good encounters. So, I started with a light heart, never dreaming that it would lead me to meet my current husband. He is 3 years older than me, named Matt Irving. He is a manager in a large corporation with over 1,000 employees, and his annual income is about $100,000. He looked serious and hardworking. Curious why such a good man had not married yet, I casually asked him when we first met. He responded with a shy smile. Well, I've been so busy with work that I never had a chance to meet someone. Indeed, managing many employees as a department head must be overwhelming. Yet, Matt started using the dating app because he felt lonely at this age. His bashful response made him look all the more radiant. From that moment, I might have started to fall for Matt. He seemed to like me too, as he said this. Honestly, I never thought I'd actually find someone on an app, but I'm glad to have met a woman like you, Kim. No, I thought I was too old to meet anyone and was about to give up. I never expected to meet someone as wonderful as you on this app. We both thought it was a miraculous encounter and smiled at each other. It didn't take long for us to consider marriage. Then, after meeting for 6 months, we got married. The day before registering our marriage, I thought, is this the last time? And bought a lottery ticket, my last as a single person. Right after our wedding, Matt made a request. I'm busy with work, so sharing household chores as a working couple is a bit much. So, Kim, I'd like you to quit your job and stay at home. What? Well, my mother was a housewife too, so I don't mind dedicating myself to housework. I agreed to his request and quit my job as we started our married life. Matt happily ate my home cooking, saying it was delicious. The days I had spent eating alone seemed like a lie, filled with joy. However, I never thought that happiness would be so short-lived. Less than a month into our marriage, Matt's attitude changed dramatically. At first, even if he was late due to overtime, he would come straight home after work. But lately, it's not uncommon for him to come home in the middle of the night. Even if I prepare dinner and wait for him, he says, I've already eaten, so I don't need it. If only he had told me earlier. I held back my hurt feelings and cleaned up the meal I had prepared. Even on the rare occasions he ate at home, he would look at the meal skeptically and complain. Yuck. Tired from work, and you serve me boiled fish, which I hate. How can I eat such plain food? Make something with meat. What? But there's no meat today. I'll make a meat dish tomorrow. So please bear with this for today. If there's none, go buy some. I want to eat meat, so make it now. Despite it being past 9 p.m., he sent me out to buy meat just before the supermarket closed. His arrogant attitude wasn't limited to meals. Even if I cleaned meticulously, he would always find fault. Tall Matt would trace his finger over high places like the top of large cabinets and yell. Here. There's still dust left here. I'm short, and he would point out places I couldn't reach without a stool, as if to torment me. I can't reach such high places often. I'll clean there during the big cleaning, so don't point it out on normal days. Even if I said that, Matt would reply with a look of disdain. Ha! You're leaving the high places dusty until the big clean? Shorties really are useless, huh? It hurt me to be demeaned for my height, but I didn't know what he might say if I talked back. So I had no choice but to endure whatever he said. Taking advantage of this, Matt would complain about everything I did around the house. He would always laze around, saying he was tired. At first, I thought he was a kind man, but day by day, that facade began to peel away. However, I kept telling myself that this was what marriage was like since I had finally gotten married at this age. But lately, I've felt my heart racing and a strange pain in my chest. What's happening? Well, I think it'll go away soon. I was concerned about the discomfort in my chest, but I ignored it for a while. That might have been a mistake. My condition gradually worsened, and I started experiencing severe breathlessness and dizziness. Unable to bear it any longer, I decided to go to the hospital for an examination. These symptoms were from heart disease caused by stress. The mental stress that assaulted me daily had inflicted significant damage on my body. I had to be hospitalized for a while. When I went home to prepare for my hospitalization, I told Matt about it, but far from being concerned, Matt frowned and said, "What? A long-term hospitalization? Seriously? What about the house during that time? Who's going to do the housework? I'm sorry for the inconvenience. During my hospital stay, please manage with takeout or ready meals. We have a dryer for laundry, and I don't think it will get too dirty if you're alone." Hey! Are you saying I have to do all the housework? That's impossible because I'm busy. I'm sorry. It's just until I'm discharged. I apologized profusely, but Matt remained in a foul mood. Really, you're only half useful around the house, and now you're talking about hospitalization? You're really useless. Remember this when you get discharged. As Matt hurled insults at me, I began preparing for my hospital stay alone. I even felt guilty, as if I was running away from the situation, though it wasn't my fault. The next morning, Matt was still in a bad mood and left for work without seeing me off to the hospital. Reluctantly, I headed to the hospital alone with my belongings. Even after I was hospitalized, Matt never visited me once. I had expected this, so I had brought all my necessities, including clothes. However, the hospital room was very lonely with no visitors. To distract myself from the boredom, I surfed the internet on my smartphone every day. Then, a strange message popped up in my messaging app notifications. It was from Matt, but the content left me dumbfounded. "Rachel, I love you. I'll be off work soon, so wait for me." I was about to mark the message as read when it suddenly displayed the message has been deleted. Who is Rachel? And why such a gentle message that he has never sent to me? Maybe Matt is cheating on me. As this anxious thought crossed my mind, my chest began to tighten with pain. I hurriedly pressed the nurse call button. Fortunately, it was a minor attack, and the pain subsided in about 5 minutes after following the nurse's instructions. The nurse advised me, "Stress is not good for you, try to think of something fun." But I had no idea what to think about. At that moment, I remembered the lottery ticket I bought before my marriage registration. I believe the results were announced yesterday. As a distraction, I checked the lottery numbers on the official website via my smartphone. I was shocked to see the words "Congratulations on your win" displayed on my page. No, can it be? While I was excitedly counting the zeros in the amount I had won, the door to my hospital room suddenly opened, and Matt walked in. Behind him was a woman in her early 30s, unfamiliar and rather flashy. "Hey. Feeling well?" Matt addressed me with a casual tone. "How can I be well? I'm hospitalized. Besides, you haven't even shown your face once until now." "Of course. Who do you think has been busy because of whom?" Work and housework, it's been tough over here. As usual, Matt was only concerned about his own hardships, indifferent to my condition. With a puzzled expression, I retorted. Oh really? Sorry for the inconvenience. Despite my disgruntled response, Matt was unfazed and grinned back at me. Kim, you really lack charm. Well, it's okay. From now on, you won't have to worry about being inconvenienced. Take your time in the hospital. What do you mean by that? Matt's meaningful words made me uneasy again. Then, Matt wrapped his arm around the woman's shoulder and said proudly. Now, she'll be taking care of things around me. Right, Rachel? Rachel was the name written in the earlier message. She smiled warmly, standing close to Matt. Who is this woman? Surprised, huh? Since you were useless, I contacted my ex, Rachel. She still loves me and came running back. Matt boasted proudly. I tried to stay calm and asked. Oh, an old acquaintance came to help, did she? Sorry for the trouble. I need to stay in the hospital a bit longer. As I spoke, the two of them burst out laughing. This wife of yours is a bit funny, isn't she? She doesn't understand anything, does she? Well, can't be helped, huh? After all, you hadn't been in a relationship until your mid-40s. Matt and Rachel looked at me as if mocking. I knew, of course, they were having an affair. I wanted to say that, but arguing would only increase the strain on my heart. So I remained calm intentionally, but Matt then said something outrageous. Anyway, I don't need a frail, old woman anymore. I'll be with Rachel from now on. While saying this, Matt held out a piece of paper with green writing on it. It meant he wanted a divorce. I managed to keep my composure, but I couldn't hide my agitation. Why? If she's an ex, you broke up once, right? You got together with me after that, and now you want to go back to her. When I asked, Matt responded with a look of exasperation. Do you really think I've fallen seriously in love with you? What? I was not loved by Matt. The realization made my head spin. Matt added insult to injury by yelling at me. That's why. I just wanted a wife who would take care of the housework because I'm busy with work every day. And yet, you had to go and get sick and be hospitalized. I want a divorce from a sick old hag. I felt like everything was going dark before my eyes, but then I remembered something I had seen earlier. If I have that, there is nothing to be afraid of. Thinking this, I regained my composure and retorted to Matt. Fine. Surprised by my unexpected reaction, Matt's eyes widened. What? Are you serious? You have nowhere to go if I leave you, don't act tough. I'm not trying to act tough. Besides, make sure to submit this divorce form properly, okay? I signed the divorce form handed to me and returned it to Matt. All right. I'll take care of it. I'll submit it tomorrow. Despite saying that, Matt still looked puzzled. Rachel looked down on me with disdain, a smug smile playing on her lips. I guess you've come to terms with your struggle to make a living, no match for my youth and beauty. Right? I'm proud too. I can have Rachel, who was the #1 girl at the nightclub, all to myself. Even when we were dating, I resigned myself to the fact that an older guy like me could be dumped any time. No matter how popular I was at that nightclub, I've always been devoted to Matt only. Let's submit our marriage registration as soon as the divorce form is out. Nightclub? #1. Hearing my reaction, Matt quickly covered his mouth. If I thought he was working hard and earnestly, he had been frequenting that kind of place. Come to think of it, even after we got married, there were days he came home drunk, claiming he had been working overtime. The times he came home late saying, "I've already eaten," also seemed suspicious now. Seeing the suspicion on my face, Rachel spoke up. Whatever, right? Anyway, Matt and I are getting together. You're no longer needed, old hag. As soon as Rachel said this, she grabbed Matt's arm tightly and left the scene. While I was enduring a difficult hospital stay, Matt had decided to remarry his affair partner. I just couldn't forgive Matt for that. Even if we parted, I would only feel relieved, but before that, I decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. I started planning my revenge on Matt. Afterward, I rested in my hospital room, recovered steadily, and finally got permission to be discharged. Since Matt had remarried and moved to an apartment with Rachel, I would live alone in our former home after discharge. Upon returning home, I immediately headed to the designated bank to cash the winning lottery ticket. Considering the amount, it would take about a week to receive it. During that time, I searched online for a good lawyer. I wanted to investigate Matt's past relationships with women. Was his relationship with Rachel truly over before we married? If they had continued their relationship all along, I could claim compensation. When the lottery money was safely cashed, I found a lawyer and requested an investigation. As it turned out, Matt had indeed continued his relationship with Rachel all along. Rachel used to be a nightclub worker, and as Matt had said, she was indeed the most popular girl at the nightclub. They had started seeing each other from those days and never really broke up. So, Matt had continued his relationship with her while marrying me essentially as a housekeeper. Thinking about it made my blood boil. However, to prevent worsening my condition, I needed to stay calm. While I was healthy enough, I wanted to confront Matt and demand compensation right away. I decided to leave everything to my lawyer and wait for the right time. After a while, Matt called me. "Hey. Why did a lawyer suddenly show up demanding compensation for infidelity? What's this all about?" "Well, do as the lawyer says. I'm fine with taking this to court if you don't pay up quickly." "Shut up. First of all, where did you get the money to hire a lawyer? Court costs money, too. The hospital bills must have been no small amount either." Unaware of my finances, Matt tried to use that against me. But his careless words would prove to be his undoing. "Right. Even though I was hospitalized during our marriage, you didn't contribute to the costs. I talked to the lawyer, and I heard I can claim those expenses from you too." Thanks to Matt's careless words, I could proceed with an advantage. Seeming to realize his mistake, Matt had nothing to counter with. From the other end of the phone, a woman's voice saying, "Let me talk to her," could be heard. Probably Rachel was listening in on the call. "Wait. Do you even have the right to claim compensation? You broke down your own body and neglected your husband. I took care of him instead, so if anyone should pay compensation, it should be you." Yes. That's right. With the support of Rachel, Matt spoke confidently. But I calmly countered. "Oh. Didn't your lawyer tell you?" The investigation confirmed that Matt continued his relationship with Rachel even after our marriage. I hired a competent lawyer, so there's no escaping it. "Stop bluffing. I've been saying you couldn't possibly have the money." There's that too. Despite your high income, you only gave me $1,700 a month for living expenses. Managing rent, utilities, and groceries with just that was tough. Maybe even that qualifies for compensation, don't you think? Indeed, Matt's treatment of me was always terrible. So whatever he said back, it just dug him deeper into a hole. If this goes to court, it will clearly be in my favor. Keeping a meticulous household budget app would also serve as evidence. Unaware of all this, Matt still thought I was just bluffing. A competent lawyer, really? That lawyer of yours can't be that great. Anyway, I won't be deceived. When Matt said that, I sent him the website of the law firm I found online via message. I hired this law firm. You have their business card, right? The homepage also features a photo of the lawyer who is currently assisting me. Seeing that page, Matt is probably shocked. Isn't this a pretty famous law firm? Really, where did you get the money to hire a lawyer from such a place? Matt asked in a flustered voice, so it might be about time to reveal the truth. Actually, I won $5 million in the lottery this year, including the surrounding prizes. What? My statement seems to have surprised Matt and Rachel. No way. I didn't even know you bought a lottery ticket. I bought it with the money I earned before we got married. So, I don't have to report every little thing to you, do I? After my response, there was a silence for a while. Then, in a panicked voice, Matt said, "You're at home right now, right? Wait for me, I'm coming over." What could Matt possibly want to do now? As I thought about it, about 20 minutes later, Matt arrived at my house alone. Surprisingly, Matt had a cheerful expression. "Kim, I came to talk about the division of property." "Huh? Division of property?" Matt looked pleased, which made me wonder what he was thinking. He's such a ridiculous man, I was speechless. "Yeah. You bought the lottery ticket before we got married, but you cashed it after we got married, right? Then, I might have the right to receive half of it as shared marital property?" Unfortunately, that's not possible. The cashing happened after the divorce was finalized, and above all, the reason for the divorce was your infidelity. Hey, don't say that. We were once married, so at least give me a quarter. Matt said this while pleading with his hands together. I sharply rebuked Matt, who always sought convenient solutions. No way. Not only is there no division of property, but I also need to receive compensation from you. About that. Matt was desperately trying to think of something convenient for him again. Listen. I was actually deceived by that woman. She was dazzled by my job and only came close because of it. She works in the nightlife industry, so she has many other clients, and I think, other men she's dating. So? What are you trying to say? I mean, I'm a victim of deception, not infidelity. Of course, I'll break up with her and never cheat again. So, won't you start over with me? I was amazed at how he could string together such excuses. Do you really think that kind of reasoning will work? There's no mistake you cheated. Look, I have plenty of evidence right here. I said this and scattered the photos of Matt's infidelity, collected by the lawyer, across the desk. The photos showed Matt with his arm around Rachel entering and exiting a hotel, and other scenes that clearly suggested adult relationships in the corner of a park. All of them were solid proof of infidelity. Damn it. Collecting stuff like this. Matt said this with a frustrated face as he picked up the photos. Then, Rachel appeared, as if to add insult to injury. Apparently, she had followed Matt, but it seems she was hiding nearby to see what was happening. Wait, Matt. Who do you think deceived you? It was you who came crying to me. Gah. Rachel, were you listening? Matt was definitely at his wits' end. Rachel, having heard all of Matt's self-serving arguments, looked furious. Don't look down on me because I was a nightclub worker. I still loved you even after we broke up, so what are you going to do about these feelings? I mean, I'm sorry. Surrounded by two women, Matt was completely diminished. I was really happy when Matt relied on me. You trampled on my feelings, so I'll be claiming compensation from you. Hey. Why should I pay compensation even to the person I cheated with? Person you cheated with? We were legally married, even if it was just for less than a month. Well, it started from infidelity, so, Seeing Matt's distressed expression, I almost burst out laughing. Matt. A woman's heart isn't that sweet. With my words, Matt seemed completely disheartened. It looked like everything was settling down, so I decided to call one more person who had been listening to the conversation from the shadows. You can come out now. What? Is there still someone else here? At my call, a person who had been waiting in the next room came in. Hello. I've heard everything. You're the lawyer from that time. Yes, this lawyer had told me to contact him anytime if anything happened. So when Matt said he was coming to my house, I immediately contacted him. The lawyer had quietly entered the house through the back door and had been waiting in the next room. Mr. Irving. As Mrs. Irving told you earlier, you certainly have no right to any division of property. Regarding the compensation, we will also reconsider it, as Rachel's issue has been added. Hearing this from the lawyer, Matt stood gaping in a daze. With this, everything was resolved, and I sighed in relief. Afterwards, I received compensation from Matt, and we settled the property division by splitting his income during our marriage. Matt divorced Rachel as well, and it seems he is now living alone. However, the company where Matt worked is a major corporation with strict rules. His infidelity and successive divorces apparently became known to the company, and Matt was fired. Originally being flashy with women, it seems he was already on his supervisor's radar. Thus, the news of his latest divorce scandal leaked quickly. I haven't met Matt since then, but someone informed me about it. It was none other than Rachel, the woman he cheated with. Rachel seemed to have reflected on her wrongdoings and came to my house to apologize. I'm sorry. I will pay the compensation for the affair gradually as I earn money, so please wait. Rachel said this while she was apologizing. However, I declined to accept compensation from her. I heard that Rachel hasn't had a stable job since leaving the nightclub. Initially, she managed with her savings, but because she couldn't shake off her spendthrift habits from her nightclub days, it seems she's now run out of money. That's why she had clung to Matt, who had money, trying to get back together by any means. But I know this might sound like an excuse. The truth is, I really did love Matt. When Rachel said she had always loved Matt, her eyes were earnest. That's why I decided to handle things with her amicably. On the other hand, Matt, having lost his job and with compensation payments due to me and Rachel, was in a financial crisis. So, he was evicted from his apartment because he couldn't pay the rent. Then, he came to me with a look of desperation. Kim, really? I was wrong. Please forgive me just this time. From now on, I'll do anything you say, just let me stay here. Ah, and of course, I'm not asking for money, just let me stay. Matt said this in a pathetic voice. Then I casually responded. Sure, you can stay here as long as you like. Really? Ah, what a relief. So I let Matt into the house for now. However, that night, while Matt was sleeping, I packed my belongings. I had been looking for a new place to move and had just finalized the arrangements the other day. By dawn, when Matt woke up, the moving truck had already arrived. Hey. What's going on? Why are you packing up so much? Where are you going? Ah, I was planning to move out today. You know this house is rented, right? So from now on, you'll need to pay the rent yourself. It's $1,000 a month. What? I can't pay that right now. You tricked me. I didn't trick you at all. I just said you could stay here as long as you like. So, good luck paying the rent. Bye-bye. I left the house after saying this. Since then, I have cancelled my phone contract and made it impossible for Matt to contact me ever again. Of course, I haven't told him my new address either. Sometime later, I happened to meet the landlord of the house where Matt and I used to live. When I asked about Matt, it seems he left because he couldn't pay the rent. No one knows where he went. Well, I'm leaving Matt to his own devices and am now living luxuriously in my dream high-rise apartment. The view from the window overlooks the cityscape. It truly is the best location. As for my health, I've completely recovered from all the stress now that I'm away from Matt. There's a fitness room on the first floor of the high-rise apartment, so I plan to exercise daily. Also, since the apartment allows pets, I quickly started keeping a Pomeranian, which I love. This female Pomeranian, Mocha, is now my precious family. However, even though I won $5 million in the lottery, I can't just play around. Since I've always liked working, I decided to get rehired at the company where I worked before marriage. Coincidentally, on the day I moved, I saw a mid-career recruitment ad on a job site. When I inquired, it turns out they had trouble finding good personnel after I left. So when I asked to be rehired, the person in charge was pleased. Now I am used to a comfortable living space and a familiar work environment. I've truly achieved the ideal lifestyle. Although I wasn't blessed with a happy marriage, from now on, I intend to enjoy living life my way. That's the greatest happiness for me now.